That's it, team. That is it. Ask me about this rock? Okay, I'll tell you. It's Kaz from In the Trenches with Kaz. This is from Philip of Macedon's tomb, Alexander the Great's father. Okay? The guy that gave the army to Alexander the Great. And this is a call out to Nick the Greek. His son in Melbourne has had a tragic motorbike accident. Apparently he's doing better than they thought. So prayers out to him. Also to Stevie Bryce and his wife, okay, who at the moment in Western Australia are dealing with some sicknesses, both of them. And Liam, their son, is doing so much to keep them going. Okay, we're just waiting for some people to get on. I'd also like to do a call out to Jackie Boy, who's over in the UK at the Patriot March, representing all of us. What do you stand for? What do I stand for? I stand for Australia. I love Australia and everything that is therein. Trained an entire lifetime to defend Australia, but I feel like there's more enemy within. What do you do about that? They take away your guns, then they take away your microphone, and then they take away your freedom. And then you think, how did it all happen when all the signs were there the entire time? We'll get to that. We're also going to do a call out to our French Foreign Legion Patreon members from the 2nd Battalion Foreign Parachute Regiment. Maury, to you and your brothers over there, probably eating some soggy bread while doing push-ups at the moment. Well done to you, mate, and it's great having you with us. 18, we can see us all turning up there. I've got to put on the spectacles of wisdom. I respect you all. What do you stand for? When you see people marching in the streets, there is nothing wrong with it when it's for your country, for your flag, for nationalism, for the love of your tribe. Protecting it from a government that doesn't feel like it has our back, as a matter of fact, is not setting us up across the Western world for a better life. And that is all their job is to do, is to set their people up. As a result of the death of pseudo-free speech, we saw Charlie Kirk taken down. So what I want to do before I get into the welcomes today is start with that, because I know that it's on everyone's mind. So what I want to do is talk to you quickly through the words of two people. One of them is Charlie Kirk himself. So please be respectful here tonight. Let's start with one from JD Delay. Now, I understand the podcast this came from, but this only goes for a few seconds, and it is beautiful, beautifully captured before we ever knew the tragedy of the loss of Charlie Kirk in his own words. This is prophetic, and it is beautiful. It makes me wonder sometimes, if someone asked me this question, what would my answer be? Charlie knew straight off the bat, and here we go.
How do you want to be remembered? I mean, if I die, everything just goes away. How would you, if you could be associated with one thing, how would you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered for courage for my faith.
Wow.
That would be the most important thing. The most important thing is my faith in my life.
Charlie Kirk was 30.
One more time, team.
I mean, if I die,
Everything just goes away. How would you, if you could be associated with one thing, how would you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered for courage for my faith. That would be the most important.
That's pretty powerful, team. If someone asked you now, at the age you are now, what would you like to be remembered for? What would it be? Because there are so many people that can't think of anything because so many people have never achieved anything. So many people look through the lens of victimhood. There's always something's fault, someone else's fault, never my fault. Charlie Kirk, he took that away from you. He takes your excuses away. He took a microphone to a gunfight and now he's dead. Because the tolerant left was intolerant and took his life. The last words he spoke was trans violence. Bam, snuffed out. by someone who's dating someone who's trans. Incredible. The second one, some of the most beautiful words by someone who is so intelligent. Stay with me, team, please. Theo Vaughan gave the best, but this goes for 3 minutes. Please, stay with me.
Janine Pirro, U.S. Attorney for Washington, D.C., joins us. Good morning, or good afternoon, Judge, excuse me.
Hi, everyone. It's nice to be with you, but...
Sorry, team.
Certainly on a day like today, it's heartbreaking for all of us. Like everyone, I've known Charlie for 10 or 12 years, and I'm heartbroken. I'm heartbroken because we had someone who literally was a voice for a generation, someone who literally could turn out young people and change an election. He was a passionate voice for conservative values, and he empowered young people. And he used this.
That's what a lot of people don't understand. The young people don't watch what we watch on TV. They watch what I watch. They're always listening. They're observant. They can listen to two captains, the good or the bad. They listened to Charlie Kirk and their minds were migrating, and that was not good for the message, for the narrative. And now we see what happens.
This Prove Me Wrong tour to spark open debate on campuses across the country. His work inspired millions of young people, and he will leave a legacy of challenging ideas and fighting for what he believed in. Today, and I'm brokenhearted as I look at his photos, I mean, right now we have lost a true warrior for freedom and open discourse. And Charlie wasn't just a commentator or an activist. He was, and I think Greg may have said this, and I agree, he was a force of nature. He built Turning Point USA from the ground up, and he gave young conservatives a platform in a world that often tried to silence them on university campuses, preventing them from saying what they believed, getting people to write papers that they didn't agree with just to get a good grade. His movement embodied.
The sad thing about that is, team, we've got a lot of people on our Patreon that I've spoken to that go to university now that have been told by lecturers and professors that if you don't follow the narrative, don't expect to get good scores. If you don't have the way of thinking with academia, it's not going to go well with your career as well. Enough of Janine there, because we have said there's a topic coming up, but I didn't want this moment to slip by us, team. It is important that we stay on subject, but this is also a key moment of our lives that one day you're going to look back and say, where did all the good people go? And Charlie was one of those good people. And sometimes, if I was to ask to define how I'd like to be remembered, and that is someone that tells you straight down the camera the way I see it. I've got the benefit, like Carl P., old motherfucker, Simon Powell, old as hell, to be able to tell you from wisdom that we've lived during a different time of this lifetime. We've got Archie Kerr there, incredible Olympic boxer. These are people that don't waste their time. They're here because they belong. They have conversations. Now, they have adult conversations. And these things will contribute to you having the best life. And this is why we're doing the stream tonight, because you deserve to know, as someone, there is a way forward. Army Reserve, if you can get in there, even if you feel you're a little bit old, even if you were ex-Air Force, even if you were ex-Navy, you can get out and join the Army Reserve. And I'm going to tell you tonight on how you can guarantee to be rich. If you're almost too old, then be rich for your grandkids, be rich for your kids. You're serving the nation, the civic duty to yourself, still call Australia home, Vegemite, bam, eat it straight. Let's go. The reason Rome was successful was because of their civic duty and also their ability to own land. That is something that is getting harder and harder for Australia. But the narrative moving forward with the revolution of AI taking jobs of those that are probably going through academia right now, it's immune. The Army Reserve is immune, and it is recruiting in a base near you, a depot near you. Guys, you can make yourself filthy rich with time, with discipline. And there is no one else that is going to say this to you. This is the second time I've made this video. DOS, 2nd Battalion, second to none. Oh, well, they came second to one when I was in Dog Squad 1994. We're about to get into the subject, but before we do, let's have a look what you guys have got to say. We've got Simon Powell here. We've got KP here. Fantastic guy. I wish I could tell you who he is, but he's a dentist, can't show his face. We've got the Wasp, Navy. Be honest, Kaz, you got that rock from the front driveway? No, and it's not from Aldi car park. We've got Phil. Hey, mate, hope everything's all good. Also made my decision to go going artillery. There's nothing wrong with punching those clouds, mate. You know, Phil, awesome. Let's have another talk. I can talk tomorrow if you want to. Well, I'm getting ready for my house inspection by someone I can never please. No, I'm not married to her. Hey, Kaz, 1 week out today. Archie, we need to have another talk. Bam. Great Northern Jennifer G. Good to have you there. Did you know that Buckarooni's on the road and he's heading to New South Wales? He's changing his colours. We've got Klitz. Hey, Kaz, what do you think about Albo trying to bring back ISIS brides? Absolutely not. No. Yep, in the catapult, send them into the ocean. They had their choice. Jordo, dunk it. If you can't get your name up there, team, that's because you haven't subscribed. Subscribe to the channel. If you need more, if you want to get on the phone, then Simon Powell will put the link up there to come to the bat phone so you can have one-on-one counselling so we can solve your problems or create a yellow brick road for you to get ahead in life. Sorry, I've just had some coffee. I stand for pregnant women on the train. So do I, because they take up too much room in those seats. Such a tragedy. It is Carl P. Hi, Kaz, hi all. You know, and if you get upset by the way people are reacting to Charlie Kirk, don't worry, because this is a moment that has allowed people to show their true colours shining through. And now you know who they are. Bowerbird prospecting. His falling has awoken the sleeping dragon. That's no way to talk about me. No, you're right. And we're seeing it. Tumour. You know, it's the Streisand effect. If you tell the young people not to think this way, guess what? Bam, you just turned them. Hey, guys, just passed my assessment session. Have my PFA booked for the 24th of November. I was wondering when I go for basic after I pass a BFA. I wonder, do I go? Yes, you do, but you won't be going this year. Senior tumour. Okay, again, jump on the Patreon phone if you need to, and we can talk what's happening, because everyone that is 24th of November, after that, they'll probably be going in the January, February, March sessions. PJ plays 1 week out as well, Kaz. There's a lot of you guys that look like you're going together. Senior MC, g'day, Kaz. Passed my PFA today. I'd expect nothing less on the Gold Coast. That's a hard place to leave. All the Army folks there were going to Infantry Reserve, like myself. So well-timed stream topic. You're going to love this one, Senior MC. Love it. Bowerbird prospecting. He'll pick it all up. My tattoo waiver is back in review. This is my second time in review, third appeal. My tattoos have been seen as could be intimidating. This will be my last time I need to move on. Mate, yeah, the decisions we make in early life can plague us later. If people aren't against you in uniform, why would they be intimidated? I want my soldiers to represent us to look tough, to be kind, okay, but dangerous. Scotty, how's your back, my friend? Dave D. We haven't spoken for too long, mate. I need to talk to you about what's happening in the world at the moment. For those that don't know, I'm on Russell Brand's, Twitter at the moment. You know, Jackie put my photo on a wreath and went over to the Freedom March in England, and laid a wreath with his lovely grandfathers on there that were died killing the Nazis, and he put my photo on there too. And he ended up getting interviewed by Russell Brand. Jackie is a patriot. Okay, Dave D. Kapuka in January. It is hot there. Lace tattoo removal. Yeah, Bauer, have you thought about, did you offer to get the tattoo removed? And what is it of? Got to be better than the cold. It is better than being cold. The cold is absolutely agonising. Let's get to it. Army Reserve, SERCAT 4, let's go. Wait a sec. Just sniff some glue to get going. I didn't really, team. So, you want to join or you want to do something that gets you rich, gets you ripped, takes away your excuses. You know, let's go. So, you decide that you've got family, you can't commit yourself to regular army. You decide that your career, you know, you can't commit yourself to Army Reserve. Got it. Got it. If you're in Army Reserve, put a thumbs up right now. Okay. Because from here on in, there's going to be no more politics tonight. Okay. We're going to be talking about the good juice, getting you rich. Because I'll tell you something else. Once you get past the age of 50 years old, like I am now, and I look back and see the advantage that you have of time in the market, there is no way this can fail if you can get into Army Reserve, if you can show some discipline and get into SERCAT 4, which means a minimum 60 days a year, including a course and an exercise. Well, you can't be filthy rich by the time you're my age or younger and able to retire by 50 if you start at 18, 19 or 20 or even 22 and go through to, or even 24. Okay. Right, so let's get to it. So what you need to do is, you know, although we've got officers in the Army Reserve, I do not ever recommend becoming an officer. The reason being, when you get to a base on a Tuesday night or a weekend, the first thing you're going to be doing is logging into a computer. You're going to be doing paperwork, computer work, something you probably already do while you're at your civilian job, right? So what I do recommend you do is go to a combat corps wherever possible. Artillery, engineers, I don't think there's aviation, Army Reserve. Okay, infantry and cavalry units. They're all over Australia. The reason why I say that is least amount of paperwork, more chance of doing something that cannot be found anywhere within the civilian sector, something that will completely give you a different way of life to that you're used to, re-spark the caveman juices from inside you, etc. You know, and then the mateship that comes with that, open doors. You know, bring out the caveman, re-spark the meat-eating carnivore within. So it ticks off those boxes. It's going to give you the most chance of dealing with weapons that you can't. They've been taken off us, so we can't defend ourselves. That's the police's job. Well, guess what? The police only turn up with a yellow tape. They're not going to be there in time. Their job is not to be there in time. Their job is to get rid of bad people, and that's after the crime. Every man should have the right to have a weapon to be able to defend himself and his home and his children at a disproportionate level to someone who is planning to give him harm or to his family on his own property. But we can't do that. So join the Army Reserve, get the weapons, get the skills, and use it so often it is no longer a tool, it becomes, a toy, it becomes a tool. To me, a weapon, they look good, they're sexy, they smell great, but they're just a tool. And I'm good at it, very good at it. I'm an expert. So I don't think there's gun problems. There's people problems. There's mental health problems. Otherwise, we'd see all these shootings happening inside the military, and we don't, where all the weapons are. So you go there, you learn about responsibility. You learn about teamwork. You learn what it's like to be wrong. You learn about customs and traditions. You stand on your ground. You fail at things. You get picked up and you get made better. We haven't even spoken about the money yet. You have purpose. You have civic duty. You have pride in your national identity. Okay, you've contributed to your nation. What do we got here? Andrew, if you live in the north of Australia, do yourself a favour, join RFSU and become a regional force soldier such as infantry role. You will learn a great skill set and you'll do some goddamn good fishing. That is an excellent point too. Medicine Man. G'day, Kaz. Long time no see, mate. Well, I'm always here for you, my man. I'm always here for you. Hey, Steelers, go lads. 1 week out from Kapuka. Today, reserve from Bris Vegas. Goal 3-4 Skippy. The Skippy only comes with regular Army, but remember that, my man. So, you get in. We've told you why to go for a combat corps. And again, if you're Air Force, Navy, get out, or when you get out, sorry, go to Army Reserve. Do something completely different. Yeah. Be around the weapons. Be around the people. Be around the fun, the adventure, the conversations, the coffee, the PT. You know, get your missus to once again say to you, can you leave your boots on when you come to bed? Yeah. I don't want to have to call Kaz to come over again and teach you how to do your job. Anyway, so what happens is you get in, you're going to go to a RIC, which is a recruit induction centre, until you get through Kapuka. Once you get through Kapuka, you're an Australian all-corps service soldier, you know, which will allow you to go to your unit, whatever. And then from there, you go and do your IT course. The sooner you do these courses, as soon as possible, and let them know, hey, I want more. Give me some more application. I reckon I could do at least 61 days. Then they're going to start to think, oh, SERCAT 4. Let's give that guy a button number. Let's give that guy a section. Let's give that guy a position. As soon as you have SERCAT 4, you have now qualified for a $7,000 each year, tax-free bonus. As soon as you've achieved that 60 days a year. So, North Force is one of the RFSU units, yep. Got two mates in the North Force, yep. 51 North Queensland Regiment, yep. So, once you've got that, SERCAT 4, which will normally happen a year after you've been qualified, you know, in your IETs, etc., and they understand you've got work to turn up to not just the easy things, but also the hard yakka as well, then you're going to start to get paid that $7,000 bonus a year. This is tax-free, right? That already, each year, compounded in the market, is going to make you a fucking fortune. You know, try to save that on a normal job, saying to the missus outside your primary role, okay, yeah, let's try and save $7,000 a year, and I don't want to spend it on our holiday to Bali, to whatever, you know, I want to put this over there. It's not going to happen. So you get this B hustle, side hustle, and decide this is what we're going to do. And I guarantee, team, if you don't listen to this, you will regret this advice, not taking it when you're older. This is not, I've got to say this because it's a legal thing. I am not a financial advisor. But guess what? When you don't have any money in the bank, a financial advisor also won't take your call. They don't take your call because they're not there to make you rich. They're only there to make themselves rich. They will not fucking touch you until you have enough money in the bank that they get the trails off that to make you worth their time. So until they take you seriously, I am not a financial advisor. I am not in the Army Reserve. I wish I was. I'd be saving a fortune. Now, once you're qualified, you're going to be on between $220 and $250 a day. This is not including bush pay. This is not including incidentals. You know, so do the mathematics on that. 60 days a year, 100 days is over $31,000 a year with the bonus, with no bush pay included, with no extra cash thrown in, incidentals. So it's going to be far more than $31,000 a year, tax-free, side hustle. If you got in and said that I'm not going to touch any of that, and each year I'm going to commit to between $20,000 and $30,000 a year, going into something that returns you 10% on average every single year, and lately a lot more, namely S&P 500, I'm just saying that's where I am. I'm not telling you to do that. IVV is the ticker. ComSec. People go, don't give financial advice. You're going, righto. In the absence of advice, what do? We spend it on piss. We spend it on food. We spend it on cars, gold rims, fucking gold braces, and all other sorts of stupid shit. We're here to help you, team. I'm allowed to give you advice on everything in the world, okay, except money. The one thing that no one is allowed to give you advice on because it's got a closed camp cult called financial advisors that rarely get it right either. So imagine you get into your unit. Yep. The people that are in the Army Reserve right now need to listen the fuck in. If you start spending that money like it's part of your normal money, expectation, weekends, car payments, all this sort of shit, guess what? You're going to get used to it. You're going to have wage creep, and then you have to be in there, and it still won't ever be enough. Stop the train. Get the money. You said when you went to join, I'd do this for free. Almost 100% of Army Reservists say that. I'd do this for free. Prove it. Don't spend the money. Put it into an account. Don't just put it in the bank. Because when you put it in the bank, our inflation is going up at a rate that even in the bank, you will not get enough money to stay ahead of the inflation. And by the time you go to spend the money, it's almost worth nothing anyway. There's a massive difference between simple interest and compound interest, right? There's so many videos that we can be looking at that can teach you all about this. But tonight is just framing, scaffolding. Great man, $600 health support allowance, tax-free every 20 days per year. Ka-ching. Also, grey man, did you know that once your 4 years are in, you also qualify for, the DOHAS system that can pay part of your house repayments? Fantastico. It also means that your ID card, when you're in Melbourne, maybe you're in 4th 19 Cavalry Regiment, we're trying to get one of our lads into. He's on the way up to Cairns driving, can go to Brisbane, can go to Enoggera Base, can go to Holsworthy Base, use their pools, use their facilities, use their gym. Gets to Townsville, stops up there, can use their facilities as well. Take the family in. You get access to all of the bases that aren't exempt to you depending on your security clearance. All of these things. Kaz might also want to mention that going on leave without pay to do reserves also reduces your taxable income. I didn't even know that. Also, if you have a trade that you get compensated, you get paid twice if you have your own ABN, that ABN that you have will get paid for the disruption to your business by you being away doing the Army Reserve. And we've got people that are here right now on this chat that do that. We've got a fella on here right now that has made a goddamn gazillion in the last 3 weeks. A fortune. Chock Cav sucks, join infantry. Mate, they said the same about infantry, the Chock guy, the Cav guys. There's Grey Man there. Yep, I'm infantry all the way through. My back proves it. Broke back Caswell without going to that mountain. Team, I honestly wish Simon Powell, the Raffy, reckon spend it on Lego. There you go. Guys, I can't say enough that someone needs to stand up in the Army Reserve and play these videos. This is the second one. This is not as refined as the first one. And let you know that if you do this correctly, the money that you make on a Tuesday night, and you can go in early, and you can get that 3 hours, help that depot, do some work for the Sarge and make it a 6-hour day, which classes an Army Reserve day, $240 to $250. Dude, if you were saving thousands of dollars a month, and that is going into a 10% compounding interest investment, it is going to explode, absolutely explode. So the bare minimum we're talking about, if you did SERCAT for 4 years, the length of a time to do a trade or to do a university degree, the very least it could be would be over $124,000 with no interest in just 4 years. No more crying about I can't buy a house. You could buy a house. I wouldn't buy a house. I've had houses. I don't know if I'll ever buy a house again, unless I'm playing Monopoly. But guys and gals, that's my point, 4 years. And we know at 7 years, the first year doubles based on 10% interest, the rule of 72. So there is a way to make the money. What if you were in Army Reserve and you didn't want to go to regular Army and you wanted to do something as a side hustle to Army Reserve, do you know what I'd do? I'd go out the next day and I'd buy a Tesla so that I can use the highest tiers of Uber, and I'd work 7 days a week, just cha-chinging the whole way, getting up when I want, playing Xbox when I want, going for a surf when I want, being available to any woman on earth that says yes. There's got to be one that speaks English, in between driving, being sober, going to the gym, sleeping in. Fantastic. And then going to Army Reserve. Imagine that. I don't even know. Could you do Uber and then get paid for the disruption to Uber? If you could say that you did on average this many days, don't know. That'd be an interesting question. What have we got here? Breathe through your balls. It's been a while. Hey, Kaz, joined the infantry after my gap year after high school. Today was my first job in a rural fire service, and we did a backburn. I'm so stoked for the future. Breathe through your balls. I'm so stoked for you. And I've got some great news about someone else I'm about to tell you. Misty Ninja says Lego is a new commodity. So expensive. Absolutely. Gillies, reserve brigades hate Cav and see no use for them. I see a use for them. You get a black beret. Mate, I absolutely love the Hawkeye. I absolutely love it. And I see that the swarming effect of that as an anti-armour capability is also extremely valuable. Why can't I do 6 hours a day? That's a good point, Dave D. But why don't officers get swords with an edge on them if officers can be trusted? That's another question. How come officers that are captains don't have a boat? How come they don't get a horse? There's some interesting questions. HD, please more on the ABN and who does that, how to go about that. So HD, what happens is, if you have an ABN, you have a business, and you've got to get called away to go and do your work, okay, your SERCAT 4, then what happens is that the military, there's certificates that you can sign that says that I have been disrupted from, my business has been disrupted due to my commitment to the military, and then the Army will pay your business, which is you, the ABN, okay, for the disruption of you being away. And it is in the thousands. Carl P knows all about it. If you work for yourself and it's your primary income, you get the ESPS, they pay your business $1,888 a fucking week for 5 days or more consecutive compounding. Thank you very much, Carl P. I couldn't have said it better. So HD, look down at what Carl P has written there. That's why we have this kind of stream and why it's so good, team. If you're on here and you're 20 years old, 25 years old, you know, you've got people on here with wisdom, with families, with backgrounds, with mistakes, with professions, with riches, you know, and they can answer your questions. It's not just me. I'm buying McDonald's meal deals. They don't go off and keep going up in value. Yeah, the unhappy meal. One good thing about reserves, you can apply for and get clearance for 200 days a year. Man, Senor Gillies, could you imagine doing that and Uber? The amount of money you could spin off in 1 year, you know, meeting all the girls that are drunk while you're sober and knowing where they live while getting tax-free dollars and surfing for 4 hours a day as well. Amazing. Breathe Through Your Balls says, is boatswain in the Navy really that bad? It seems to be marked as naval infantry of sorts. It's not. We don't have Marines, mate. We have infantry that do amphibious operations, but that's 200 days a year if work, tax-free pay and incidentals. Man, as long as you know how to make it meld, there is no way you cannot get rich. No ways. As a matter of fact, we typed this in before. Let's just do this as a joke, taking into account that you never get a pay rise and it just sits on $240 a day. We'll take it as though you start with nothing. The calculator's here, $31,000 a year. We'll say that you have an interest rate of, we'll say 10%, because that's what the S&P 500 has done since it's actually come out, and it's been a lot more lately. For the duration, first let's just say you do your 4 years. After the first year, let's go. Wait a second, and how much you put in? Even if we said the 4 Tuesdays, you know, the one weekend, so that's $500, and then you threw in your Tuesday, the 120s. Let's just say you put in $1,000. Well, it'll be more than that because you'll also have your $7,000. What do you call it? Oh, I had starting balance. Sorry. So 0. We're starting with 0. We're going for 10 years. With 10% interest for 4 years, and we're going for yearly. We put in $31,000. Done. Okay. In 4 years, you'd have, based on that, $143,871. Let's whack it up to 10 years. Okay, $500,000. $500,000. By then, but you will have had bush pay, you will have had incidentals, you will have had pay rises. Army Reservists seem to always be getting pay rises. Let's just say that you're 20 years old, you do it to your 40. Okay, starting balance is 0, annual return of 10% interest a year based on the fact that you've actually invested for compound interest for the duration of 20 years in Army Reserve. You started when you were 18, so we'll say you're 38 years old. You put in the $31,000, none of your Uber money. How much? How much do you reckon you've got, team? How much do you reckon you've got? Don't look at your own calculator. 20 years by putting the $31,000 in. I'll give you a hint. Your contributions are $620,000. How much do you reckon? Anyone? Has there anyone got a number? Look at you all trying to work it out, I guess. Okay, the number, team. No one's put anything up. JG says, is it $600 every 20 days a year or $600 once you do 20 days in a year? No, I don't even know what you're talking about there, mate. 0.2? No, $1,775,000. $1,775,000. Okay, if we said that you were going to do it for 30 years, I know we're dreaming here, team, but that's what we're here for. $5,100,000. $5,100,000. And that is for doing 30 years of SERCAT 4. Yep. Bam. You could buy a house in Penrith for that. Breathe through your balls, just reserve $200 a day. Once you're fully qualified, the guys that I know that are all on SERCAT 4 are on $240, $250 a day, mate. Some are on a lot more than that. And once you get rank, holy shit, there's guys on over 400. You know, there's officers. You don't even want to know how much they're on. Jared, that's a one-bedroom house in Sydney in 30 years. Yeah, probably. But, team, don't say there's nothing we can do when we're here right in front of you now, telling you exactly what you can do. Thanks, Cass. Appreciate you following up, mate. It's been on my mind lately. Franco, we're here now, crew. Wait a sec. Thanks, Kaz. Appreciate you following that up, mate. It's been on my mind lately because my defence interview is coming up. I'm not going to say his last name. I emailed the recruiter again and asked him to add armoured vehicle crew to my preferences, and he reckons my application has progressed past the point that he can update preferences, okay, even though he's sat on it for weeks. I think he's got the shits with me. Asked him so many times, I'm curious to see what Simpson Barracks says. We'll give him a buzz. Absolutely, mate. Let's get to the bottom of that because I'm sure that they would like to have more people. So no, it was 1,700,000 there, clicks. Saxton, How much do you get all up for infantry for 4 years? It was 143,000 for Army Reserve, I believe it was, mate. 143,000, I believe. But that's based on SERCAT 4, including the $7,000 bonus, and you doing your days. Yep. Health bonus that was mentioned earlier, I missed it. There isn't free medical except if you get injured during you're doing your duties. It's not like the regular army where it's full top tier free medical throughout. But if you get hurt while you're actually doing an activity, that will go on there and you can claim that, and you can ultimately end up getting a gold card if you're injured. But I'd rather not be injured and not have a gold card. That'll be a happy meal in 30 years. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, but our job is to not have excuses. Our job is to do something. I've done the research to let you know that this is a way that you can have a different life where it can be fulfilling, where you can have everything, right? And it's very exciting. Jared. Man, it's amazing. Every one of you is the most important thing in your life is money. But it feels like it's a topic we never talk about. Check my last comment. It says, Carly boy. All good, mate. It's the best. No? Have you got another one since then? Check my last comment. You been on the phone? Oh, HD, if you work for yourself, it's your primary income. You get ES. Yeah. Desert Wolf, it's a one-time payout per year. Yeah. Health allowance is $600 a year. I didn't even know about this, Dave D. So Dave's thrown in another one for you. Health allowance, now I know what they're talking about before. Health allowance is $600 a year or $2,500 for SERCAT 4. Okay, so it bumps up to $2,500 for SERCAT 4. That will get you a quarter of a fake tit. Get it on your back. So if you ever go to jail, it might get you out of trouble in the showers. The SERCAT 4 gets another $5,000 bonus on completion of the year contract. Bam. Graham, I used to get $50 a day in Army Reserve back in the 1980s. Yeah, so did I. I was there in the in 87, 88, I think it was. And we were on $50 a day. And the pay clerks didn't really put our paperwork in either. Depends on which role you do. That's all right. There you go. So, guys, this should be exciting. And if you're in Army Reserve or know someone in Army Reserve, this is something they should be looking at talking to someone about. Whether it's me, whether it's getting on for the price of a coffee a month, having a conversation with Kaz and sorting out, hey, Kaz, what is this witchcraft that you speak of? I'm willing to do that because how I want to be remembered is someone that helped people to not make the mistakes I made. Okay, there was a time in my life where there was a young woman that I cheated on. And now I tell you as a young man, never cheat on girls. Don't do it. Not because it's a bad thing to do to her. It's also cheating on yourself. Don't do it. Just don't do it. I got a phone call on Tuesday last week in regards to my application getting processed. And within the next couple of weeks, they're going to call me and organise my medical, psychological interview. Yep, that sounds about right there, Cindy Saxton. Yep. And once you actually have that psychological and you get through that, the rest of it is almost easy. Because the psychological is the only one where they're actually trying to prevent you. They're looking for something wrong, right? We've got so many people that come on to the bat phone and ultimately end up with dilemmas that they've made, kicking home goals by just bringing up something they don't need to bring up. You're not going to the police force. It's not the FBI. You know, it's not the time to go in there and say, hey, did you know this about me? You know, and then they can't ignore what you've said, and you can shoot a hole in your boat and end up going to bloody therapists and going to psychologists and going to all sorts of things to fix up problems that now could end up in the appeal system. So I'm not even saying for you to lie, but what I'm saying is don't go in there kicking home goals because it's not hard to do. Yep. Don't get a tattoo that's going to put you in a position which makes you unemployable in the future. they'll call you Quasimodo in the showers. Brady, I don't think a lot of people know who Quasimodo is these days. She gave me water. The Desert Wolf, depends on which role you go to. Psychologists are the MPs of DFR. Changed my mind. Every Australian 18 years and above should be involved. I believe they should be, mate. I do believe in national service. I've never seen so many foot dragon losers in my life as what I see when I get around Western Sydney now. You know, all of these young guys, Eshays, you know, and you're going, dude, before you've got a conviction, stop listening to the dickheads carrying purses. You know, you want to be tough? Go and be a real fucking man. Go and put a uniform on and stand for something and do the right thing. You know, stop listening to the people that aren't going to visit you if you get incarcerated. Veloci, Kaz helped me out with the psych and gave me really good advice. So if you're unconfident, call a bat phone. Absolutely, mate. It can save you a career. Klitz says, yeah, never smoked anything and don't get headaches. And yes, don't get a tattoo on the back of your head. Yeah, it depends what it says. Yeah, Bowbird, what if it just says keep up? Saxton says, Kaz, I forgot to mention when we had our call, I've got a small tattoo on the side of my neck, but behind my ear going down. Will that prevent me from getting in my role? No, but it depends what it says. Kaz, are you ripped and rich? For a 54-year-old, physically I think I'm doing pretty well. Am I rich? No, but I can tell you the reason, because I know where you might be going with this, Lemming, might be don't listen to someone about money if they don't have money. But this is the reason why I'm giving you this advice, is there was a stage where I had 5 houses. There was a stage where 30 years ago I had $50,000. There was another time in 1999 where I had $60,000. There was another time in 2002 or 3 where I had like $65,000. These are all different lump sums, tax-free money, you know. And then there was times where I got another $70,000, another time I got $50,000. There's been investment mistakes I've done that have gone wrong as well. All of those things, but I've learnt from every one of the cuts of the financial sabre that has cut me. And I've learnt from every one of them. Okay? At the moment, I'm 54 years old. And if I was to scratch everything together, I reckon I'd be sitting on net worth about $99,000. $99,000. But that is fucking nothing. The reason why I say that is I'm 54 years old. I'm also extremely sick with a disease. So I don't know how long I've got left. So when I give advice about this, I'm doing this because I'm actually investing for my daughter, for her life, to break the cycle. But how can I tell you, give you advice on how to do push-ups or be a marksman or operations or tactics or core or life or females? How can I give any advice on that? You know, if we don't learn from our mistakes. You know, I want you to be better than me. Most people don't want you to be better than them. You know, I want to be remembered as someone who helps people. I don't get anything out of it other than knowing that you don't follow the same mistakes I made. 5 houses, owned them for 10 years, made no money, and all of them were bought in a great spot. Sold them on the eve of COVID pretty much, made no money. You know, after owning them for more than 10 years, all they did was give us heartache. If I'd held on to them now, still, I would have been laughing. But no Monday quarterbacks. Yeah? Yeah. I haven't inherited anything. You know, every fortune I've spent, I think, fuck. Imagine if I'd had Kaz talk to me and I'd pulled up the bloody the reins and someone had given financial advice to soldiers. Yeah? This stuff didn't exist when we were young. Saxon says, when I call off, okay, the small tattoo. I used to be ripped. Shouldn't have bought shares in White Monster. I haven't. Wild Track, my psych evaluation later this week. Interview and medical mid-October. I'm 52. Holy fuck. Infantry reserve for me. Let's roll. Okay. Saxton, my tattoo says, live, laugh, love, but in Chinese writing. That should be fine. Chinese writing. What you better hope that's what it says, man. It better not say CCP all the way, Xi Jinping. Brady says 50% of the population on the government tit. They're too lazy to do anything for money. Absolutely. And it's going to get harder and harder and harder to make money. And people that think that they're going to be outside or part of those that have instead of those that have nots, there's no guarantee. But one of the good things about Army Reserve is you're also going to be part of the narrative that the army, that the government desperately needs for their narrative. Simon Powell says he's got $25,000 worth of Lego. There you go. Lemon was saying, don't worry, bro, just talking shit. No, there's nothing wrong with what you said. Always listen to you talk the truth. Absolutely nothing wrong with what you said. And I would say to a lot of people, you know, be careful when you take money advice from anyone, which this is not, camouflaged, I guess, because at the end of the day, they can lead you down a tough wing. I'm not going to tell you where to put your money, but what I will say is do fucking something. Because when you were 20 years old, it feels like a fart before you're 30, you know? And when you're 30, you wake up and you're 50. And all of a sudden, your online profile, you're looking for the old ladies. You don't want that. Brady Cars, you have a tattoo that's going down that's a free ticket to a submarine. Okay? Guys and gals, so in quick summary for tonight, I believe, tell me if I am wrong, not prove me wrong. You know what happens there. Charlie Kirk, rest in peace, one of my favourite people. He stood for something and he tried to help others regardless of the fact he was rich in every way. But the summary of tonight would be if you're not in the Army Reserve, you should consider it. Because what it gives you is intangible. You will not know what it gives you back. It's different for every person, you know, but it will give you a lot back, whether it be mateship, whether it be adventure, okay, whether it be restarting your masculine energy, your testosterone, whether it be financial. It can give you all of these things. You know, whether it give you self-respect, a sense of purpose, a sense of mission as you're getting older, right? There are so many things it can give you. It gives you a civic duty. It gives you the right to vote, I believe. Yeah. If you don't do any civic duty whatsoever for your nation and you don't own any land, it'd be very easy to feel like, what am I voting for? You know? So do something for yourself. Make a difference. Break the cycle. Allow your family members to be silent supporters of the fact and pride, that flag behind me, not a rainbow, right, that you stand for something. So that Anzac Day becomes your big day. Remembrance Day is another big day. You know, follow the footsteps of the Anzacs who never came back to Australia, who would have loved to have had another day at the beach. The opportunity to eat the end of a Chico roll and say they're not as good as they used to be, while saying only homos put sunblock on and then going home sunburnt and sore to eat jats and drink Cotty's cordial out of a steel cup. Guys, 24 years in infantry, regular, skippy badge. Bam, what's better than one? 2, so don't expect me not to be biased. That'd be a thumbnail. I'm never going to grow up. I'm always going to be a clown, you know, and I'm always going to laugh at farts. But seriously, money makes the world go round. Can it make you happy? Well, if getting rid of financial stresses makes you happy, yeah, it does. Making medical problems go away, yeah, absolutely. Having friends that answer the phone, you know, having people you can go and chill out with, a sense of identity, conversation, there's not just footy scores. Yeah, it can make you goddamn happy. Absolutely. You know, if I could go back, there's so many things I'd do differently, and I just wish I could do more. The Bullfrog. G'day, buddy. Dino, speaking to the other blokes going for combat roles at the info night in the city, we're all being told they're full right now. I couldn't imagine they are, but Dino. I'd like to know more about that, actually. God bless Charlie Kirk. Absolutely. Absolutely, Graham. You know, it's been a very tough week for me. I used to listen to Charlie every day because it taught me how to look at some problems, how to scale down and ratchet down some of the anger and accept some of the life views of people that just don't know any better. Ash, I'm looking at the joint ADF Air Force meeting with recruiters to go over my JOA results on Wednesday. I'm 38, nearly 39, looking forward to seeing what comes of it. Okay, Ash, have you considered the regular army as well? Be interesting. Jordan, hey Kaz, can you have a hand tattoo in infantry? You can, Jordo. It depends on what it is. We've got one of our Patreon members right now who's going through Kapuka with a dedication to his passed away father on his hand, and they let him in. Brady Cars, Charlie has shone the light on evil and allows us to see them for what they are. Absolutely. And there's people all across the military getting kicked out for what they've said about Charlie Kirk online for bringing ill repute back on the military for hateful comments against another citizen of their own country. Alex, I have my aptitude tomorrow at 9 a.m. I'm nervous to fail, but I've been studying. Alex, are you on the aptitude test? I can't do anything on the bat phone for you. But Alex, if you're not on the bat phone, you need to get on and have those conversations with me. And let's turn that nervousness into nervousness of apprehension of the career that's coming ahead. PJ, Jordan, I think you need to get a waiver and stuff. They'll talk to you about it, and they'll do an assessment on it when they see it. We've got a guy who's at the moment who looks like he's just been accepted as a rotary wing pilot. Yep. And when he goes in, he's going to have a ROSO probably of 10 to 12 years, which is fantastic. That's stability. That's all paid for. That is something that would probably cost over $100,000 to do in a civilian sector to get those air hours up. And he sounds so goddamn excited, and I'm excited for him. PJ, Alex, do the word ones first and do the math ones last. The maths take long. It's a distraction. There you go. The nerves are good, you know. The only time you should generally be nervous is if you get caught dancing. Yeah, men shouldn't dance. Anyway, let's get out of here, team. I'm there for you. I can't drag you to me to help you, but I'm always available. Follow the links. See you in the remarks column below. Come to the bat phone. Let's have the conversation. Let's laugh about your life, laugh about mine over a coffee, and take it easy. We've even got a couple of officers in at the moment that have joined a week and a half ago, and they both look very happy too. Let's leave off with this again, because this, you know, it is really heartwarming to listen to. This is the last words spoken by Judge Janine Pirro, a woman who you cannot buy her vote. Extremely intelligent woman. And this is her
Pirro,
words.
U.S. Attorney for Washington, D.C. joins us. Good morning. Oh, good afternoon, Judge. Excuse me.
Hi, everyone. It's nice to be with you, but certainly on a day like today, it's heartbreaking for all of us. Like everyone, I've known Charlie for 10 or 12 years.
Can we just get our last comments as dedication to Charlie Kirk, who lost his life this week? A legend. He cannot be replaced. A future president of the United States of America, the land of the free, based on family, based on spirituality, and patriotism. Charlie Kirk.
And I'm heartbroken. I'm heartbroken because we had someone who literally was a voice for a generation, someone who literally could turn out young people and change an election. He was a passionate voice for conservative values, and he empowered young people. And he used this Prove Me Wrong tour to spark open debate on campuses across the country. His work inspired millions of young people, and he will leave a legacy of challenging ideas and fighting for what he believed in. He today, and I'm brokenhearted as I look at his photos. I mean, right now we have lost a true warrior for freedom and open discourse. And Charlie wasn't just a commentator or an activist. He was, and I think Greg may have said this, and I agree, he was a force of nature. He built Turning Point USA from the ground up, and he gave young conservatives a platform in a world that often tried to silence them on university campuses, preventing them from saying what they believed, getting people to write papers that they didn't agree with just to get a good grade. His movement embodied everything that he believed in. He invited the tough questions, and he debated ideas head on.
The last thing I'll say is ask yourself, what do you stand for? What would you fight for? And what would you not walk past without intervening?
And he proved what we've always known, but so few people use it. He proved that truth wins when it's tested. That's what Charlie Kirk did. And look, I knew that he was a bold voice many years ago and a man of deep conviction. And I got to tell you, Dana, you're right. I mean, his belief in family, his marrying Erica, his 2 children, his unwavering loyalty to his friends. I mean, he leaves behind an incredible legacy, a movement that will only become stronger because of this young man who made a decision to take a different course. He created it, and he had all of us following him. And, you know, they talk about, you know, fascism and all that. The ones that are trying to silence the dialogue, they're the ones who are the true fascists. And what I know of Charlie is that he would want us to keep fighting. He would want us to keep fighting with words, to build a debate, to prove our doubters wrong. And in the end, Charlie proved us all right about what matters. And what we need to tell Charlie is that we will continue to carry the torch that he created on the road that he took, because this is a man who will be legendary. He changed. As far as I'm concerned, he changed an election because he was strong and he believed in young people.
What a beautiful thing to be remembered for. You know, and some of the nicest words were from the guy that was talking to him as he got shot. You know, people are leaving the Democratic Party in droves because this is not what they stood for. Charlie Kirk, the one thing that he did that ended his life was taking a microphone to a gunfight. That's all he did wrong. Yep. All right. See you later. Be brave. Stand tall. And remember, when people doubt you, prove them wrong with actions.